So we're going to talk about rhythm guitar essentials. And so for this, we need to know our chord vocabulary in the given key that we're going to be working in. We need to know how both to compose and switch our chords in a timely fashion. We need to understand how to use guide fingers and anchor fingers, things of that nature. We need to know our strum patterns or finger picking patterns. So let's go over that here real quick. So everything we've done so far for the most part has been the key of C, so that's what we're going to work with. So first off, we're going to start and just cover the basics, knowing the chords. Again, we're going to walk through all of the open position chords in the key of C/A minor we can use. So we'll do it in alphabetical order, starting with A minor. Note this one, we don't play the low E string, but everything else. Okay. And if you don't remember the fingerings at all, review prior videos. So we have A minor, we have C. Remember, just one finger difference. Again, every string except the low E. Then we have D minor, first finger F, third finger D, second finger A, and then open D. We don't play the top two strings. Okay. Then we have E minor, playing all the strings. And note, an E minor is just like an A minor. Take off the first finger and move it up. Then we have F major, or that, either way. And this one we play from the D string down, don't play the top two. And for reference, the F chord is just like a C chord, only we move the top two fingers down, one string each. And then we have G major or any variation thereof, okay? So now we want to talk about using guide or anchor fingers, primarily guide fingers in this context. What that means is we need to consistently switch between the chording. So, for example, when going to A minor, we're not going to play the chord, then take our hand off and randomly put them all back down because there's no reason to. We want to be as efficient as possible, meaning all we have to do is move one finger, right? That's how we go back and forth between those two. C to D minor. So look at the fingers as almost a mechanical function, if you will. What is the most efficient way to get from point A to B? For example, we want to go C to G. There's two ways to do this. We could just move those up, or even if we choose to go with conventional fingering, notice where this one and this one, we shift those together. 3 goes on 3, 1 goes on 2, and this one shifts down here. So we see how in a way that whole form shifts there without having to take our fingers off and refigure each chord every time we do it. So that's what's going to get us to the point where we can play these chords and switch in a timely fashion. Okay, so the next thing now is going to be how we strum or finger pick our chords, and we will start with strumming. So one thing you can do to start, I would recommend, if you're really not fluent with these, let's pick a progression C, A minor, and G major. Okay, play whole notes to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the important thing here is we're not going 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not making the notes staccato, we're making them cut off really quickly. What we want to do is sustain them, meaning they ring out as long as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from there, we'll go ahead and practice them in a quarter note fashion. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you'll notice every note that I hit was on a downstroke. The ups were silent, right? So we're technically playing eighth note pattern with the right hand, meaning 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Okay, so that's going to be important because now we get into actually accenting our strumming. Now we have gone over this pattern, but we definitely need to review it. Remember, our pattern is going to be the same, just eighth notes. We're going to try to hit them all. Let's start with this, just eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... Okay, so we've gone from whole notes to quarter notes to eighth notes. So we want to get that consistent, making sure that the strokes are all identically spaced and dynamically the same if possible, and that our switches are falling within there, so however slow you need to go, that's totally fine. Now remember, for our strum pattern in 4/4, we still do the eighth note strum pattern, but we don't hit the strings on the upstroke on the end of 1 and then the downstroke of 3, meaning we play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So nothing changes with the right hand except on the end of 1 and on the downbeat of 3, we just pull our hand away, but we still make the stroke. So that's going to sound like this. let's talk about finger picking our chords. We'll take that same progression, C, A minor, G. We're going to do a 4/4 simple right hand progression. Remember, our thumb covers the bass notes, and we have 3, 2, and 1 covering 3 on E, 2 on B, 1 on G. They're going to stay there the whole time. Now our thumb is just going to follow our bass notes, so we know our C chord and our A chord both start on the A string. So it will be in our C position, thumb, 1, 2, 3. Then we shift to our A minor chord, thumb, 1, 2, 3. Then we'll shift to our G major chord. Now when we do this, these 3 fingers stay the same, but the thumb goes up to the E string because there's where our root note of G is. So if we do that without talking through it. And so on, okay? So that's gonna be important. If we wanna change that to 3/4, we just take off that last beat. It's gonna be thumb, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and so on. So last, we're gonna look at how we can accent our chords using the C major scale. Again, we will primarily be working in 5th position since we're playing open position chords. So just in case, review your C major scale. So we're going to be looking at what notes here in the treble area of our scale, if you will, we can put into our chords. So if you can almost see this, and one way, if you really want to get into this, you could say make a diagram of the neck on a dry erase board or something like that. Fill in the scale notes, for example, in one color. Say the scale notes are blue, and then fill in the chord fingering in red, and then you can see which notes overlap. Because of course the chord comes straight from the scale. So these are all scale notes. There's one. There's one. Open. There's the other one. There's the other one. Okay, so those are all in the scale. So what that means is we can take other notes in the scale. For example, let's just focus on our B and high E strings. We know those are both open, 1, 3, open, 1, 3. What that means, if we make a C chord, we're going to focus on this B string right now where the first finger is. Then we can take the finger off because the open B is in the scale. Then we can play this D on the 3rd fret of the B string with the pinky and walk it back, because all those are in the scale. So now you have not only a chord, but you also have a melody. So we can incorporate that into all of the chords from that progression we've been working with. So I'm going to play C, A minor, and G, but we're going to have that melody progression therein. To finger pick it. And so forth. So make sure you take your time on this. If you can figure out all these chords and how to strum them, you can play the majority of music that is out there, as far as, you know, any popular music you'll hear on the radio, anything like that. Of course, we'll get into more jazz chords and things like that as we go. That's going to be a little more specialized. But if you can do this, this is going to put you in a whole new plane as far as playing the guitar and your abilities. So take your time with this. Make sure that you practice each chord. Practice for cleanliness, not speed. The speed will come, but we don't want to be sloppy with it. So there you go. I hope this helps out. Take this and run with it. Just swap different progressions, and you can take any of those chords that we talked about in the very first part, being A minor, C, D minor, E minor, F major, and G major. You can configure those chords in any order that you want. Have some fun with them, see what sounds good, try to come up with some of your own music, and then add your patterns in as you get familiar with them, and there you go. God bless.